You're watching the Tesla Life live with your host, Mark Coglan.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tesla Life number 447, 21st of January, 2026. Yeah. Welcome to the show. With me, as always, my two co-hosts. We have Mr. Casey Green joining us with a very happy baby. How you doing today, Casey?
Doing all right. You can tell I haven't had a chance to turn on my lights because the controller is updating right now, and I can't do it by hand because this one decided she wants to stand up.
Indeed.
Yes, but it was an interesting day. I told myself I was going to sit down and verify that I'd read all the articles, and I found myself waking up and signing up for the show, sitting right here in the chair.
Oh my!
So hopefully there's stuff I've seen already.
Also with us, as per usual, Mr. Patrick Connor from the West Coast. How are you today, sir?
Hello, I am good. So regular viewers will know that I got a heat pump this summer, and so this has been our first winter with a heat pump. And I just got the bill today, and we used 81% less methane, natural gas, than this compared to last year. So the heat pump is really doing its job, and that's just a little less fossil fuel in my future.
There you go. So I have my own heat pump story. So you guys remember they switched me to time of use from flat rate, and I took the time to make the whole house shift to battery. Well, everything but the girls' room and the 240 loads, and that included scheduling the HVAC to do what it's supposed to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I turned off the turn on early for comfort, arrive at this temperature crap, and I happened to hear the system running this morning when it was in the middle of the 4X price range, and then I walked past the thermostat and it says, "Hey, we're preheating." I'm like, "What are you pre-doing anything?"
Yeah, this is during, not pre.
Yeah. Plus, I goose it a little bit during the discount energy period is the same year round, but the 4X in the wintertime is right in the middle of the morning, and in the summertime it's right when you're trying to make dinner. And so,
right.
For the wintertime at least, I have it set to just goose it a little bit, like hypermiling. So I have it set to, so say we have it set to heat as warm as 65 or 68 or whatever. I'll say, all right, go up to 70, and then when it's about to start, I have it go back down to like 60, or not 55, but like 60, and then I have done the same thing to the hot temperature, because who knows what it's going to be here if we need air conditioning in the middle of, like, we sometimes need air conditioning in the middle of the winter, and I did the same thing there. I say, all right, bring that down to right about 75, 65, whatever. And then when the time starts, don't turn on unless it's hotter than 80 in the house.
Makes sense.
And this thing was undermining me. So I found that there's a feature called Balance on the Nests. I've had a Nest for decades. There's a feature called Balance, and the Google Help AI that tries to keep you from calling or chatting with support said, "Oh yeah, you can set it to max eco." There's no setting for that, but I found that the default is 5 hours, and if I am reading it correctly, it can preheat or pre-cool or whatever your house up to 5 hours before the set point.
Right.
The way they word it sounds like it works with or in conjunction with the early on feature, and so if I had the early on off, then this should not have activated. So by default, it's set to 5 hours, and I've set it to 0, and we'll see what it does tomorrow morning. And I've also got a support ticket open with them, just in case they want to reword that or whatever. I don't imagine they're going to give me back my $100 of power. But
Right. I had to make the same change when I was using a Nest because they you have a time, you say whatever, I want it to be such and such a temperature, such and such a time. It tries to learn your home's heating and cooling rate and start that ahead of time. And like, no, I want you to change to that at that time because I'm looking at the price schedule, and that's when I want you to start doing it, not an hour and a half or 2 hours ahead of time or 5 hours ahead of time. Because you can turn that off, and it's definitely helpful.
Yeah, so have the learning turned off. Had the learning turned off because it was a mess in the summertime. But they have a feature. I don't know if it's nationwide, continent-wide, or what. But they have the same thing that awards you the leafs and then does the rush hours. They can now, you can tell it when your TOU is. That won't help you with your 2-in-1 season, but it will help us where you can. I'll have to go in every season and change it, but every time the season changes, she asks for it. She's like, "Hey, give me this." But every time the season changes, you can get there like the 2 or 3 days before it happens and say, "All right, here's when my time of view changes," and then have your schedule set to shift. But we'll see what happens.
Speaking of morning rush hours or time of use, we're having a VPP event tomorrow morning.
Nice.
And so, so tonight I'll make sure the battery's fully charged so that it's 7 a.m. when the VPP event kicks off. I've got a full power wall ready to discharge and help the grid out and get me paid.
Is that an unusual event for January?
No. We usually have 1 or 2 in the winter and like 6 to 10 in the summer.
Okay.
Yeah, so with the early mornings, a lot of people have electric heat, and so that's when they're really turning on the heat. And so VPP in the winters, not unheard of. I think every year there's been 1 or 2 in the winter.
Yeah, we had a couple this month, and I'm not on a plan that expects. I mean, I can contribute back, but if I suddenly start contributing back when the sun's not up, they might not appreciate that. What are you doing? Where did this come from? Oh, I just ripped a generator, no big deal.
Greetings to Purple, Lee, and Highlander in the chat. If you're out there listening, please send us a hello in the chat. Join the chat and the discussion.
Speaking of Lee, he threw as our friend on the Let's Chat with Casey and Friends on Sunday.
Ah, excellent!
Shout out to Lee. Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Definitely. That's right.
Let's start with the news of the week. And the first story I wanted to touch upon was this one about the cybercab being spotted in a northern climate, which was, of course, Chicago.
Oh. Well, I mean, what better place than where they had the Supercharger freeze out? That was, 2-3 years ago.
That's right. To
make sure.
So cybercab was spotted in Chicago, and another interesting point about this photo, besides the really small mirrors on the vehicle, which of course are not going to be used by a human because there will be cameras underneath, is this wet spot at the back of the car.
Oh, is it a washer?
Yeah.
Neat. Why don't we have that?
And that was the first question that the internet asked as soon as this picture was published.
Yeah, because Nissan's had it since 2010. Yeah. Not on all their cars, but they've had it available since then.
Many of them, yeah.
And
of course, Tesla does realize that when you get into the snow belt of states and provinces, that you're going to have an issue with road grime. And you're going to have the ability to clear it, or your car's not going to have any visibility in the rear.
Yeah. I wonder if everything for the sides, although the sides rarely are an issue on these cars.
Mm-hmm.
Side cameras, obviously. You're looking at the sides caked in salt, but the side cameras are rarely an issue.
So that's something that, of course, the internet has asked now is, where's my retrofit? I would love to have some sort of a spray wash so I could have a camera that's clean every time I go for a spin.
I'll pay extra for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I find that I get trained about maybe halfway through winter that before I enter the car, I must walk behind it and clear the camera with my thumb, and then get in the car. And then I find myself that once the road grime is gone, I'm doing it same thing for about a month into the new season where it's not required anymore. So it's a progressive thing that you're always thinking about, and I find that I'm missing it half the time at the beginning, and then in the season that's not required, I'm still doing it. So
yeah,
it's tough to get trained on that. And here we are, about halfway through winter, roughly, and I'm still not getting it every time. So.
The hidden badge trick does work on those cars where you can only use the camera in reverse, but like me, I always have my camera up, and then of course when FSD was invented, I was always the camera is looking out the back too. So they would have to have a solution like this, or they also have, it's probably more expensive than they'd want, the spinning lens trick like you have on some of the windshields on the ships, or on some of the expensive sports cameras. They'll have like the lens itself doesn't do it, but they have a lens cover that just rotates, and
right.
It's pretty darn cool.
And we have seen that Tesla's introduced different enclosures for the back camera lens, where it's got a little bit of a spoiler on it. It's angled a little bit differently. They're trying to see if they can get it to disperse water better. But I was thinking, even if they were to put another slick coating on it or whatever, I was wondering how's the road grime or salt grime of winter going to come off of that? And it appears that they don't have a solution besides you need to clean it with some sort of a solvent. So that is interesting to see, and that certainly is something that as they test in regions that are require this, at least they understand that they need this type of solution to have a clear lens at all times.
Yeah, I'm glad they've continued to keep at it though, because the physical tweaks have helped, and they are appreciated, and then the various coatings they can put on there. And then I learned from the Silver Symbol channel about the potato peel trick. When you're cooking anything with some potatoes, save a section of the skin, just rub it on the camera for about 15-20 seconds, and then let it dry, and then buff it off with a lint-free cloth. And
Nature's Rain-X, huh?
yeah. That was his next choice. Was like, hey, if you don't mind spending any money, then go ahead and get some Rain-X. And that'll last you the whole season. But the whole year, he said. But the potato will last you a season, he says. So it's like, all I need is a season. Let's go.
Did you try the potato trick?
Yeah.
I haven't yet, because while Gig likes to make French fries from scratch, the babies, they like to get them ones that are frozen. And so the other thing we have to worry about with ours is we have 8 extras versus he was saying for reverse cameras on most cars, but that's the one that's the worst of this. So if you can do that or buy a cybercab, then I think that's a good trade-off, right?
Yeah, I don't think rubbing a greasy tater tot on there would work as well.
I don't think a tater tot will work, because there's something about the enzymes that the potato skin makes, and use the inside of the skin, the one that was on the potato meat, not the part that was in the dirt, because that part will scratch your lens.
Yeah, you don't want to scratch the lens, that's for sure.
Yeah,
that would be trouble for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So my camera is giving me some trouble. I'm getting this message saying that I should schedule service. FSD is working fine. I don't know if some moisture got in there and it's fogging up or what.
Is it the front cameras?
Yes.
Oh, it's probably just the outgassing of the VOCs, and then it's just time. Although I don't know why us oldies don't have that. Were they bonded to the window? Because I remember they used to have a special procedure to get it done, and now it's like, the car will do it itself.
I don't know. I'm going to try ignoring it for another week and see what happens.
Yeah. The service manual will show you how to do it if you care to do it, or you can go to the service center, get mobile service. Mine is complaining, don't hit that person. It's 18, 19 inches away. I'm like, there's no person there. You're looking at your own inside of your bumper because I have yet to send the pictures or schedule with the insurance company. They called me just before my impromptu nap and said, hey, did you go to the body shop yet? And I was like, no. And they're going to put me in a large gas SUV. I'm like,
Oh,
I don't want to pay for
That's
that
what you need, man. That's what you need. That'll bring you down back to earth, like, and really appreciate what you got. Because whenever they put you in a gas rental car, that really, really brings you back down to, man, I was doing this for an awful long time.
Yeah.
This is pathetic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Next, let's go on to superchargers. Casey, have you seen this story about the most used supercharger in the supercharger network?
I have not yet. Yeah.
Well,
I'm sure you've been there more than once.
I might have.
no, I don't think he has. I think none
Is
of
it
us have been at this particular supercharger because it's at
Off continent?
the diner.
Oh, I haven't been to the diner.
And that stands to reason because people are going there as they're actually traveling to visit the diner, and it's become quite the hot spot. And what I'll do is there's a
Let's meet there for next week's show.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd like to do that.
Let's share this little video here. Oh, stop the music.
Oh, hold on. Let me mute your screen. Okay, you're good.
Here we go.
Oh, Lee has a hot tip for you there, Pat.
Go digital. What?
The precision camera cleaning is free for the first time. Front interior windshield. Just had it done. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. Also watch the piece with Lee to see what you might need to contend with your local service center with the staffing roller coaster.
Okay. Yeah, I've been really lucky. The service center here has been great. I see these horror stories online, and I'm just wondering, like, are they making this up? Because I have no experience like that. And of course, different locations are going to have different people with different attitudes. But man, some of these places sound horrible.
Well, I'm always impressed with how well the people there are able to do with what little resources they get to keep to deal with. That's a pretty Cybertruck. that's a sentence I never expected to utter. But you'll have a center that's just had a 30% cut while the company's at a 10% cut, and everybody there is like not necessarily all smiling and stuff, but they're all trying to keep the spirits up. And as long as you treat them like humans, they treat you very well too. I'm wondering if there's a reason why some of the clubs they would do boxes of donuts at random for the crews, and that might be why. Hey, if you see this sticker on a car, give them a little extra juice, yeah.
Yeah, I might. If I do have to go in to the service center, a box of Voodoo donuts might be going with me.
Oh yes.
This post also gave us some stats. Basically, that the amount of juice that flows through this supercharger is 43K charging sessions with a 1.5 gigawatt hours of energy per month. So that's like powering 2,000 homes for a full month. Full charging 25,000 Teslas monthly, 1,400 cars charging daily at 80 stalls.
Wow.
That's impressive. And I was just reading a blurb about, the diner is the biggest flop ever. There's never anybody here. And I didn't even look to see like what time of day the guy was going to visit, but I was like, well, don't you want it to be not a 5-hour wait when you get there? Because they're comparing it against what the launch month.
Right. And of course, nobody wants that. Like, really, you don't want to be standing in line for 2.5 hours just to get in and get an
And then you got charged for 20 minutes.
Yeah, like that makes zero sense. And I think we'd all agree that if we had the chance to visit it, you'd much rather visit it where it's a normal weight compared to something like that.
Yeah. Also, I imagine the mothership is doing part of its job there, where it's distributing. Because you could have enough to fill the one station, but what they would rather do is spread you out based on where everybody's going and when.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, do you think I think this is a destination that people are going to. So I don't
or like the old road trips where, hey, let's look at the largest ball of twine on our way to go visit wherever we were actually going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that this is probably there are probably far more convenient superchargers if you're traveling from place to place.
Yeah, like this would be a tourist sort of thing, or
exactly.
or you're local and this is you're going to walk for lunch,
Yeah,
or get a quick little top up on the way to lunch.
Exactly.
Didn't Tesla publish the diner revenue? It sounded impressive to me. I know they mentioned it. They said how many they'd like patties they'd made and like all that stuff, right? I do recall something to that effect. That's right, Purple. Thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And they don't need to be a successful restaurant. If they are, great.
No,
but even if it's just a destination for charging and that's going well, that's good for their customers. That's good for their brand. So
yeah, and even if it's not that, like if it's getting the rest of the community to notice they were there.
Yeah,
I mean, look at Pepsi and Coke. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is like saying, "Oh man, that new T-shirt that Tesla came out with didn't sell well. What a huge flop! The company's gonna fail." I mean, it's so irrelevant to the main business.
Yeah, it's a sideline. It's not even relevant to the financial statement at all. So.
Other than how many burgers we made this quarter, but they literally could lose money on it and count it as just marketing expense because they do have some ads, but what is a more effective ad than something like that? People are just constantly talking about this spaceship down in Hollywood.
Yeah,
exactly.
Next, Elon's talking a little bit about the AI5 chip as it nears completion. Apparently, he's indicated that there's going to be the first starting run of it in March of this year. Yeah. And then he made a what they call a tease of 9-month development Candace.
Yes.
Which sounds a little bit on the fast side, but of course,
do you trust Musk's timelines? Come on.
Yeah,
I mean,
we are talking Musk here, and we know his full operation, what he does, and that's with every timeline that he gives out. And I don't think that this is any different than what he says with other timelines.
And then Pat has some experience at companies that did that for a living for 50 years before Tesla was a thing.
Right. So how long between AI4 and AI5? So AI4 started or was in mass production and going into all their vehicles by mid-2023. Yeah. So here we are. This one will be 3 years later, and who knows, maybe 4 years before it's actually in full production. Right. So they're going to go from 3 or 4 years to 9 months. It's a great ambition.
Well, how long was it between
a year and a half?
Yeah, how long was it between 2 and 2.5 and 2.5 and 3? Although you could argue that 2 and 2.5 were really just them getting like certain like bargain deals on NVIDIA chips, and then the 3 was their first one of their own.
I don't know the time frame between those two.
They was really close because like I was looking at making my purchase, and then 2.5 came out, and then I got 2.5, and then less than a year after I got the car, 3 was out. And
they were pushing 3, yes.
And then a couple months after I got the car, boom, there was my car.
Right. Yeah. The other part of that announcement was they talked about Dojo's coming back.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. So Dojo was going to be its own dedicated training chip, and now with AI5 and then going forward, they've said no, we're going to do a single chip, but they will allow it to be ganged together in a way that for training you can have a bunch of them massively in parallel, and then for inference only, you can have one or two of them in the car or the bot doing inference versus training. So now
Dojo is now literally a dojo, not just a chip. It's like this is where you go to learn your skill.
a bunch of them gang together, and it's a fight. Dojo.
Yes, sensei.
Mm-hmm.
Or shufu, whichever one you're going with. But
And just to give you an idea about the AI5 chip, it's the current AI4 chip, or what used to be known as hardware 4.
Yeah.
We've got a 10 times raw compute increase. We have a 9 times memory capacity change.
Is that one going to stick now that memory is like, ooh?
Apparently, Tesla's, of course, got some already.
Oh, they got contracts,
right?
Good.
With chip manufacturers, so they may be required to follow the what they've signed up for, or there may be some modification. But obviously, if you have a contract, you're looking for it to be fulfilled.
Yeah, and it's not like Tesla's not one of the AI companies that was locking up memory to begin with. So, or
exactly
XAI, but still, they're in the family, so they're probably in that ring 0 tier to get memory when people ask for it. Oh, you don't want to give me memory for the cars? How about we don't buy memory for your chips? We go over here. Not that that's an effective strategy right now, but with that whole terafab threat, it could be. It could be. I say threat because, as Pat and I said last time, it could be, but it's depending on how all this stuff plays out, it still doesn't seem to add up that they want to keep that thing around unless they do like Giga Nevada and bring somebody in to run it for them.
Yeah, it's going to be, as you guys had mentioned last time, it's going to be a large undertaking, and it'll be a large amount of cash to start your own fab plant. So,
yeah. Oh, speaking of that and memory, one of the companies this week, it was in the news this week. I don't know if they did it this week, but they purchased an old fab for memory, and it won't be able to come online before about summer of next year.
Who purchased?
It was already doing the job. I don't know if it was Samsung or SK, but or Micron.
SK Hynix, right?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Well, there's only 3 of them, I guess, but it was one of the 3.
Those are, yeah.
and they bought this plant that was already making memory and already ready to go, and apparently it's going to take most of a year or more than a year to get it back online, making memory again.
Well, yeah, Micron was the only one that had any significant U.S. footprint, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of the others saying, what can we do to get going here as quickly as possible? And
bring this out of mothballs, make some DDR4, and then figure out how to get some DDR5 in there and just slip it in.
HBM, baby.
Yes.
Lee Moon indicates another part of this story was that Elon had indicated that hardware 4 certainly will be able to handle unsupervised FSD when it rolls out.
And he's been saying that for a while, but it's refreshing to see that he's still saying it, because that means that he didn't change his mind.
And in a side story to that, there's been a bit of a breakthrough with hardware 3 compute, where they've been able to force it to do more than what it was capable, or they thought it was capable of doing. Patrick, do you have any news on that, or anything to add to that?
So I did read that article. The short answer is that they're able to do things with 8-bit integers that they thought needed higher precision, and instead you can limit where the high precision is used, and so you can get a lot more done with in fact, this has been not just Tesla's finding this out, that a lot of AI can be done with 8-bit integers, which, in the world of compute, 8-bit is ancient, and everybody went 16, 32, 64, and thinking that this was the way to get there. But depending on what you're computing, 8-bit can do a lot, and so if that's what hardware 3 is capable of, and they can now this is how we get to version 14 Lite, is that you take a lot of stuff that was in 16 or larger formats, and you put it into 8-bit formats, and then you figure out where it fails, and you say, okay, those are the ones that have to be bigger, and so that will do this double compute part, and so that's what they're doing, and that might be what gives extra life to hardware 3.
Yeah, like take for instance the speed you want to run. The car only can go from negative 30 to positive 85, 90, while in FSD today you don't need but a couple bits to store that. You don't need even 8 of them to do it. Or maybe you need 8, but you don't need 16 and 32 of them. And so look at how wide is my lane, how many inches am I from this obstacle. Now your path planning and your future prediction, you probably want a little more precision, but there are plenty of places where you can get a little fuzzy and not hamper the experience.
Right.
Like I've seen some of the stuff people are bragging about their 14s on, and it looks impressive, and it's like, hey, mine does that. It's not as smooth, but it does that.
And the next thing I wanted to touch upon was something that we talked about last week, a little bit of a I guess addition to the story that we did last week about FSD. Tesla has announced earlier in the week that the transfers are going to stop as of the 31st of March. So for those of you that have been thinking that you want to move it at some point, this is something that you need to be aware of. Again, as we talked about last week, we're not sure. Is there going to be another opportunity to do this? Tesla has said in the past that they were not going to do it anymore, and of course they did happen. They did continue to roll out, but with this now change where you can't buy it and you have to rent it, is that going to change their mindsets? What do you guys think?
I really hope that they keep doing it. I mean, it sucks to be at their mercy for when you want to do something, but that I still think would move some people like me and Pat who keep our cars for a while versus, it'd be good for leases, but like for people who don't change their cars with their underwear, it would be nice to keep that feature around.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by this. They've made it pretty clear they want people to move to subscriptions. And then with subscriptions, you don't have this problem. If you buy or lease a new car, then your subscription just moves over there. Yeah. If they want to change the price for whatever reason, they want to increase adoption, or they've got new features and they want to make people pay for it, that now they control that, and they can look at their finances and other things and adjust it to make it happen. One of Musk's tranches includes FSD subscribers or subscriptions or sales of that product. So
then we won't see this thing come back until he gets his milestone.
Right. And to hit that milestone, oh, hey, you know what? Instead of $99, let's charge $49. And all of a sudden, adoption rate increases, and hopefully it improves to a point that they don't need to do that because it's so great. People just want it, and they'll pay whatever for it. Yeah. But the only way they have that lever is if people are subscribed. So that's where they're trying to push people. And I do think that it would have been really cool if they said, everybody who's paid for it up to now, when they stop selling it, you get one free transfer, and you can use it anytime in the next X years, or anytime in your lifetime, whatever. It would have been nice if they had given that instead of just saying it's gone.
That would be like, customer friendly into the form of like customer loyalty, and they really don't flirt with customer loyalty at all. That's not to say, I was complaining last week about this as well, and then immediately after that I got an email from freaking SpaceX. Not only are they going to continue my discounted rate, they promised me a discounted rate for 2 years, but then they said, hey, the plan you're on, even though it's discounted, we've changed it up a little bit, and it now comes with a Starlink mini dish, and even though you're a cheap bugger, we're going to give you the free mini dish as long as you stay subscribed to this plan. You can use this mini dish on the road. Hey, that's a good value add. And then when you look at other things like the connectivity charge has never gone up. I don't know if they've ever changed the subscription price for FSD, at least not up. I think if they did change it, it would have went down $100. But they, like I said, they may not court repeat buyers, but they don't at the moment really seem too intent on digging the knife in you. So it doesn't make me happy, but it doesn't scare me too much.
Starlink, I just got an email from them saying it's now available in my area, and I'm in the
Welcome.
suburbs. So, yeah, I was surprised to see that because they're focused on rural areas that where there's not a whole lot of other options.
Yeah.
And I had 1 gig fiber, so I'm like, they're not going to be able to compete with that. And but then
They do pretty close.
How much bandwidth do I really need now that I'm not using as much stuff? I'm not working from home anymore, and so what I ended up doing was just sticking with the fiber that I have, but reducing the speed and paying less.
There you go.
So it got me thinking about my bill, and it's nice to know it's an option, and competition's always good.
It is.
So now my fiber provider, if they start going nuts with the bill, I'm going to drop them.
There you go. So on the home plan, they say up to 400. I want to say I saw 600 one night and 200 up. I don't know what was up with that because those aren't speeds that it's supposed to be able to do. At least not today. Unless it was 3 a.m. So maybe I was the only one on the bird that night.
Right.
But, so this weekend I had a fiber outage, and and then for whatever reason cellular didn't kick in like it was supposed to, and so I ran the whole weekend on Starlink, and the downloads were a little bit slower, but it wasn't terrible. And
it is hard to keep this guy off the internet.
Yes. It is. And on that mini plan, it comes in standby mode, so you can use, I think they said like 3 standard definition YouTube streams at once, and regular web surfing, but they will do 50% price on what they call the roam plan, which lets you use it in motion and on the water for up to 60 days a year. Not that I'm never going on the water with Starlink, but for those of you that do it, that's out there.
When you win that lottery and buy your yacht, it can happen.
That's right. Might pedal solar yacht.
Exactly. Well, it's here in my area in Ontario, I know that I got the email from Starlink, and they were offering their lowest package was $70 Canadian a month.
Wow, that's a really good deal.
So it's obviously, as Patrick has mentioned too, that they've got bandwidth because they are now reaching out to more populous areas and asking people if they want to be a part of it. So obviously the 10,000 satellites up there are enough for them to expand and continue to expand coverage.
I wonder if this is an indicator that the V3s are almost ready, because they've got the V3 Starships and they've been throwing up simulated V3 satellites. As tested in production as they are, what's to say the next ship won't just launch up? Assuming the next orbital ship. I don't know if the next one's suborbital or not, but the next orbital ship won't just have some prototype V3s up there or something. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool.
Well, it's coming, definitely, because they just keep iterating in everything they do, and Starlink is no different.
Yeah.
Haven't heard about another Starlink store opening. We heard that,
that's right.
that one in Nebraska, and there was another 2 slated in Nebraska, but haven't heard anything along that line. But that is interesting. I wonder how the farming community is looking at Starlink and if it makes sense for them.
Yeah,
right. There's connected tractors now.
Yeah, that's connected tractors and not even just stuff that moves. You could have just like an irrigation post, and it'll be able to read and send the data, and your wireless ISP charged you $800 to get it out there, and your local fiber wanted 10,000. Starlink said 45 Canadian. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the beauty of that is that all the companies, all the sisters, they work this way. You've got Tesla, you've got SpaceX, you've got Boring, and this constant iteration. They're not. I mean, they do want to make a profit, but they're thankfully not usually just going for maximum value extraction. They go for making sure they're a good deal if they're, at least if they're not the only one in the program. So that's pretty cool.
Another story about eyes in the sky, and this is something shared by our friend Joe Tegmar, who was checking out, of course, Giga Texas, and he came across this.
Quad Squad. Oh yeah, this thing.
The
This was
parking
interesting.
lots. And you'll notice that there's a sticker over the badge on the back of the new Model Y, and the wheels.
They don't want to see the wheels.
So I gotta believe that this is the the blackout starting to appear at Giga Texas.
That makes most sense. That way they don't get damaged in transit. And then the I think the only thing that's actually camouflaged on there is probably the trim badge,
Which is probably black as well.
Probably. Oh yeah, that's right. Because in China they were talking about changing them to black as well.
Yep.
So that might be protection as well. Go ahead,
I think
Patrick.
it's a YL, or
That was my other question. Was is it a YL? I don't know.
No, this is a regular Y.
Okay.
What did you say? What is the blackout? I missed that one.
They changed the wheels to a darker color. They changed all of the badging, like yours is black. Whatever badging it does have is black. Worldwide, they're starting to do that now. So the chrome like they had in China.
Okay, so continuing the chrome delete that's been their trend for a long time. Okay.
Yeah.
So while you're on that picture, real quick, I came across an article this morning. Had a picture of Pat's car, and they're like the $60,000 mistake Tesla made about the taillights, and the whole article was about the Juniper and how it has the indirect brake light and ambient light, the running light.
Those are awesome.
Yeah, they are awesome, and I don't understand.
They call it a mistake.
Well, people keep getting pulled over by police.
Really?
And yeah, I don't.
Lee has one, right? Lee, have you been pulled over?
I'm thinking it was probably like 3 people they made seem like 60, but
okay, yeah.
At the same time, like I don't see what these policemen's problem is. It's DOT approved, FMVSS, NHTSA, everything.
Yeah, the first story indicated that the police officer said, "Take it back to the dealership and get this fixed." And it's like, this is not a dealership fix problem. This is a DOT approved it, and it's now been sanctioned across all of the U.S. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, so this came up on the Jay Leno when Franz and Lars were on there, and Jay said, "So, how did you guys do this? How is it that you're not showing the light directly?" And Franz said, "Well, we read the spec, and the specification just talked about how much illumination had to come off of the vehicle, and this
how big the elements had to be. Yeah,
ain't
no rule says a dog can't play basketball."
The rule, yes. So as long as it's giving sufficient illumination of the red light for brake indication, the cops can't do anything about it. It's federally approved.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, you can see compared to the regular Junipers, just this row has the hubcap covers on them, which is, and of course the camouflage badge, which is really bizarre looking.
That looks like a graphic I made years ago when the Cybertruck was coming out. Remember, I weighted out all the wheels.
Yeah. So that's a speculation anyway. So we'll see if this changes over time. But
I have thought about
the amount of vehicles that are now coming out with it. Obviously, they're not just doing a limited run, but they're starting to roll them out.
So do you think they're performances or premiums? Because they have, you wouldn't put badging on a standard.
Yeah, you still
a word mark.
Not the standard, but you would put them on the all-wheel drive, right? That's you still get an AW.
The dual motor.
Yeah.
Dual motor, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing I was thinking as I saw that the first time was like, these things are driving themselves in the factory now. That isn't braking a concern. But then I was like, well, one, even if it is Texas, they're not using the brakes all that hard, and two, it's the same thing that everybody else puts on their cars, but they just don't drive them 4 miles before they before they put them on the truck.
Yeah.
Oh.
Last thing I wanted to talk about today was we've been seeing obviously there's been a little bit of a slowdown in Tesla sales in the fourth quarter and of course the overall year, but the used car market is starting to heat up with many more deals available on Tesla vehicles. And if you are interested in a vehicle but but can't get into a new one, they're indicating that there are a number of markets in the U.S. that Teslas are trading below average on the price. So it may be bad for a new car owner or someone that's facing the depreciation that happened on their vehicle, but it's a boon for somebody that's looking to pick up a secondhand vehicle. Yeah. And in this article, which of course we'll link below with all our articles, they've indicated that there are, three different states that are really, for those hunting for a Model 3, for example, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Rhode Island, all have a below the current listed national average of somewhere between 5% and 8%. If you're after a Model Y, for example, the Illinois is your best bet, as prices are sitting at 5% below. So they've published a handy dandy little map, which I can share here.
Yeah, this is much easier to read on my computer than it was on my phone. That map, and it was really hard to read on my phone, but here on the screen's much better.
So you've got an indicator that you've got these almost a sale, if you would, but of course this relates to the number of vehicles trying to be sold in a certain region or city. Yeah. And again, larger city centers like Chicago, like Los Angeles, are another area for Tesla to have a larger amount of 3s and Ys that are for sale. So if you're after a used vehicle, it's not cheap everywhere you go, but there are different regions and city areas that you might want to check this article and compare to where you're shopping for a vehicle, or if it makes sense to shop in a neighboring state from you.
Take a little trip, get a little delivery, whichever.
Because you always hear these stories about, well, someone got this Model Y at a fantastic rate that's 2.5 years old and such. Yeah. A lot of those are one-offs. I find that you're not really seeing that as a overall thing. Right. Someone, maybe didn't know the value completely, or made a compelling offer, and the buyer or the seller just took it. But,
or all of that, and the car is in old man tan on the only ways you can get a look at it. But in reality, it's champagne colored. So. It was
I've been looking here in my local market to see if that type of thing has been going on, and I don't see a drop in prices when you're comparing. Obviously, if you can get a vehicle that's being sold by the original owner as opposed to another dealer that's trying to make a profit off the vehicle they already purchased, there's sometimes you can get a different deal that way, but this is something you need to consider if you're looking for that slightly used vehicle. You do have the capability of picking up something that you will lose a lot less depreciation on because the original owner already had taken some of that hit away from you.
Yeah. The intro to this story I had was somebody else had a different take on it. They were like, look at this 2012 Model S. It's only $4,000 in the junkyard, and it needs a battery because it's only got a 30-mile range remaining. And I was like, thankfully, all the takes on that article were like, dude, you can get a car for $4,000, put a battery in it for less than 10, and go another 200,000 miles. I was like, I'm glad I don't have to put anything in on this one. Nice. And they were on like. They said, well, what about the gas $100,000 gas car from 2012, 14 years ago? How much does it go for? It's like, oh. And the guy in the video attached to the article was like, yeah, and look at all the pollution it took to make it. And I was like, all right, I got to say something on this one. It one, it was roughly the same pollution, slightly more to make it, but then one of them continued to emit stuff forever afterwards, and the other one only did it if it was like in West Virginia, not powered by solar.
Yeah, the argument of my gas car is cleaner than your EV is like, really? Did you think about it for more than 30 seconds before you said that? No, you didn't.
As long as they throw away all their cars before the second oil change is due, then they're right.
Yeah.
But after that,
And they were never concerned with pollution in the first place, if that's their behavior.
right?
Yeah.
Because even if you lease a car, you're gonna get at least one oil change in it, maybe 3, 4.
Yeah. And that car doesn't just cease to exist and turn into butterflies at the end of that.
Exactly. It is something that has to be recycled, returned, rebought. All of that is required.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see this used EV market because I bought all used cars before getting into EVs, and that's because even my first EV was a used EV.
My first EV was used too, but not as historic as yours.
Right. Yeah. But then when the Nissan Leaf came out, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I've got to get one of these, and that was the first new car I had ever purchased.
Oh wow!
Because before that, I mean, it just made no sense to buy a new car when you can buy a used vehicle
like
and
a
let someone else
old car,
get it for 2/3 the price. So you don't get the new car smell, but you also don't get all the depreciation. And I could just pay cash instead of having payments, and then you don't have to deal with that. And then I could use that to the money I'm not making on car payments to save for my retirement. Yeah. And so it was. But then. With EVs, that was not an option in 2010 really, but today it is, and that's great to see because if you're have a kid in college or whatever, you want to get a car for them, you can buy a used vehicle. If you're just starting out and you're trying to make all the utility bills and mortgage and rent or whatever else go, and you're starting out your career, okay, then you can get a used vehicle, and so it's really cool to see this.
And the selection is just incredible. I saw a blurb on the Fisker Ocean about how this rental car company that rents out to taxi cab drivers. They're like, we were going to get these Model 3s, but then we saw a deal on all these. They treated them like used cars, but they were really just that Fisker went out of business. Right. And they got something like 30,000, 13,000. I don't remember what it was. It had 3 in there. Thousands of cars for pennies. And so then their next ones, they're going to be looking for something cheaper.
You're not going to get a whole lot cheaper. The nice thing about that is if it's a fleet, you have people who do fleet maintenance, and you have a mechanic on staff and other things. I don't know if I would buy a Fisker.
No, I wouldn't buy a decommissioned car, but I would buy a used car.
Like getting a repair and So,
you'd want to guarantee a part source.
Right.
You'd want to guarantee that there were others on the road, that it wasn't going to be, as Fisker has, a company that's just disappeared. And
twice.
It wouldn't be great for an individual to do that, but definitely a fleet. In fact, that fleet that Casey was talking about in New York City, they even acquired the software from Fisker and are able to do some updates. So
on their own.
Awesome.
That is something that allows them, and the numbers that they were to purchase these vehicles, it allows them to be a lot more flexible.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the car company Think.
Yes.
Yeah, so
a Ford company.
So Ford bought them at one point, and then Ford sold them off again, so they were independent again, and then they went out of business. And they made a little 2-door car, plastic body, and when they went out of business the last time, I don't remember what year it was, 2011 maybe.
Yeah, it was really late.
They dumped them in Portland, and so there were a whole bunch of them around here. There's a garage here that I think it was called the Velvet Hammer that specialized in them. They bought a bunch of the maintenance and repair stuff from Think as when they were going out of business, since that was part of the deal with the cars coming here. So there were a whole lot of these running around, and a bunch of people in the EV club, OEVA, and bought them and loved them, and had a local place that could take care of them. And so as far as I know, it worked out really well. I haven't heard anybody that got a lemon there. And this was, I don't know, they were selling them for like $8,000 when you could get a $7,500 credit for them. I mean, it was so they were, priced to move.
Yeah, that's a good deal right there.
Yep. Yeah. Well, let's wrap it up this week. Let's go to Casey for some shout outs.
Yeah. So You can catch me on Sundays at Let's Chat with Casey and Friends. You never know who's going to be stopping on through. Definitely, you want to catch us on the Tesla Life Express. We have at least 2 of those a week. Turn on the little bell below, hit subscribe, hit like, and then it'll let you know, hey, they're on. They're doing a premiere. And then you can chat live with the crew, see who's in there as we talk about what we talk about here.
Exactly. And of course, you can follow us through the week as well on our our X handle, which is at the Tesla Life. And you can see what's happening throughout the week. Patrick, what do you got for us for shoutouts?
Well, if you've been with us this long, I know you love the show. I'll give you a little sneak preview. In one of our Express shows this week, we're going to talk about why Mark might be the first of us to get some new cool features from Tesla. But that's all the tease there. You can also check out what I do at carswithcords.net. I have up there right now something about why carbon offsets are often a scam. So don't fall for that. Be aware. The petrol dollar, how things are going to change as petroleum becomes less important, more of just a commodity instead of a strategic commodity. And also, could 2026 be the year that we finally hit peak oil? In the past, all the people claiming peak oil were talking about the supply side and saying we're not gonna find more of it. But we found ways to drill sideways and frack, and we're clever. And if there's money there, we'll figure out a way to do it. But what might actually cause the peak is that people are just not as interested in it. And I go through the reasons why, and it'll be interesting to see. And in fact, it's funny that they come out in the wrong order, but it was in looking at the other one that I stumbled on this idea and was like, that could be an interesting story. So there you go. Check it out at carswithcords.net. And as always, I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. We are going to be at the upcoming Portland Auto Show. So if you're going with that, check out Electric Avenue, and you might even see a friend of the show, Brian White, there doing a Q&A about EVs. So check that out. And I'm on X at A Future Free from Fossil Fuels, the F-bomb.
Not that F-bomb, a different F-bomb. Shout out to Highlander, Lee Moon, JT, Purple Side that joined us today in chat room and said hi. I'm sure there are more in the chat room, but those are the guys that communicated with us.
I thank Lee for correcting me. The bar in the back, the red bar on the Model Y Juniper is not the brake light.
It's just the running lights. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's a red running light. Yeah,
it catches me every time because I see one and I follow it, and then it doesn't
or brake.
Change.
I mean,
yeah, it doesn't change. I'm like, that should be getting brighter when they stop. They should put that in.
And Digital Blade also joined us in the chat room.
Cool.
Thanks to Lee Moon for the music that we use every week. We appreciate that, Lee. And with that said, we'll get together next time and find out what's happening in the Tesla life.
Stay positive. Test negative.